Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome back to another WCW My Son the Traitor episode. First things first, thank you for all the support while I was away on my holiday. Had a great time, best holiday I've been on. Really enjoyed myself. It was really good just to get away. Haven't been on a holiday probably in about 3 years since just before COVID. What I do want to do here quickly is advance to the next Nitro. We're kicking things off exactly where we left it in episode 7. You might also hear I don't sound the best. Pretty much halfway through my holiday, got really sick. I'm assuming it was either I know for a fact it was a combination of a chest infection, either a head cold or a flu, which was really bad. And then I also had a bit of tonsillitis as well, which was pretty bad. Really sort of swollen, sort of glands in my neck and throat, and yeah, it was not good. Anyway, that's the reason why there's been no video in 10 days. Was really in no way, shape, or form able to even try and record once I did get back from the holiday. So apologies for that, but we're here now. I do feel good enough. I'm actually going back to work in a day or two as well, which isn't going to be exactly too fun. Anyway, let's crack on with the episode. So that's a bit of backstory. Had a great time on the holiday as well, albeit did get quite sick. Anyway, I do actually, while I was on the holiday, I did actually book my my Nitro. Completely getting off topic here. Did book my Nitro while I was on my holiday, so we're pretty much ready to go straight into it. And I think I sort of actually put a lot of time into it because I didn't actually have TEW in front of me. Anyway, we've got a really positive sort of incident here where we actually have Curt Hennig taking Johnny the Bull under his wing as a protege here as well. Of course, Hennig, I think he took Samoa Joe in one of the previous episodes. So he's also taken Johnny the Bull there as well. Really good stuff. Obviously, all these guys, their contract hasn't begun yet, being Spanky, Brian Danielson, and of course we've got Chaz and D'Lo coming in as well, which was one of those things that we set up in the last couple of episodes as well. I haven't really given myself much of a refresher. Obviously, I sort of know the storylines we've got because I did have a brief read of tonight's show that I did book during that holiday. So I think it's actually a really good show. Like I said, I do apologize as well if I mute the microphone. Likely going to cough a few times. There's still a bit of a chest infection going on. I'm better, but it's still sort of lingering, especially the coughs. In saying that, I had to cough straight away. All right, so first things first, let me grab my phone up here and grab my notes. So we're going to kick the show off with... actually, we'll book top down, so we'll book main event first. Pretty decent main event. It's a big tag team match. I like my tag team main events. It's pretty much the best way to incorporate your upper mid card and your main eventers, I feel anyway, into one match to sort of elevate the upper mid carders and try and get them onto that same level. So it's going to be Booker T teaming up with Hugh Morris to take on the team of Curt Hennig and Buff Bagwell. Also got Bagwell's sort of redemption tour. I do appreciate the comments as well about his... is it actually in his attributes? I don't know if it is. Yeah, in a funk. The workers enduring a period of extremely poor form. They get a penalty for their performance in every match. And as you can see, it can last between 3 months and 2 years. So I do appreciate that comment. We're going to stick with him anyway. He's very over. He's still relatively good. And he does have those sort of entertainment stats as well that we can definitely use. At least in the upper mid card. Once we sort of develop our our main push guys like RVD and Chavo and get them up into that upper mid-card main event slot as well. And of course, we got Curt Hennig as well, who is of that same level. So this one will give 16 minutes to our main event, and our winner is going to be Booker T, and our loser, surprisingly, is going to be Buff Bagwell. I'm pretty sure we can call this one as well. Double check Hugh. I'm not so confident with Hugh Morris in that match to actually call it. So I think we'll definitely, yeah, we'll definitely script it. Anyway, so post-match angle, we're going to have Buff and Booker. I need to move my microphone over slightly so I can have a bit more access to my keyboard. So we'll go double success for these guys, even though they're not technically in a storyline. They're probably going to want it to be unscripted as well. But Buff Bagwell, what did I actually write here? I think I wrote something like he's going, wants a rematch. Rematch of Booker. To continue his redemption. Yeah, so he essentially just wants to continue his redemption tour, and he believes that beating the world champion is a pretty good way to redeem himself. All right, so pre-main event, because I do want that to be post, setting up next week's main event for the go home show. We're going to have Curt Hennig, and he's going to address the WCW fans, essentially just stating that he's going to become the new world champion. There we go. Simple. Booker T off screen, and he gets Curt, and Curt Hennig should probably put on a pretty decent promo for that as well, I would imagine. All right. We've actually got a World Cruiserweight title match prior to this main event. And of course, we're going to have Helix Skipper taking on Shane Helms. I believe this was a match that we actually set up from last week's show. Give this one, I want to say 8 minutes just because it's like an actual title match, but you know what? We'll go 8. And I think we'll make it high spots. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. Who is Helms actually feuding with at the moment? Sanders, okay. I did not want to do that because I just exited out of the match. Lovely. All right, give me 1 sec. I'll just quickly rebook this one. This is a bit silly. Did not mean to exit out there. But it's actually going to be a botched interference. It's the way I've got it written down on here. So Shane's going to win. It's going to be that high spots match. Open script decisive. Actually, we'll make it tainted. And it's going to be botched interference finish on Skipper by Mike Sanders. Cool. And that's the Cruiserweight title on the line. We'll chuck it. Yeah, so it's a rough one. Because earlier in the show, I've actually got Rob Van Dam versus Little Guido. I feel like that would actually be a better high spots match than this one. I might do storytelling on that, and then have that RVD match be the high spots. I think that works just a little bit better. Anyway, we're going to have Helix Skipper come out, and he's going to essentially goat Shane Helms into putting the Cruiserweight title on the line in their match. So Helix Skipper tells Shane Helms to put his money where his mouth is and put the title on the line. Again, very simple, easy. I like it. And it just leads into that match being a world, cruiserweight title match. Nice and easy. Up next, we're going to have another angle. We're going to have Rob Van Dam, and he's going to cut a promo with Canyon off screen. And we're going to have RVD. He states he will represent the real Americans. That take pride in their country. We'll go as US champ. That's pretty much word for word what I've got in my booking notes here. Match up next, we've got Chavo Guerrero taking on David Flair. Pretty obvious who's going to be winning this match. It is going to be Chavo. Simple, easy, and then we're going to have a Chavo promo prior to that match as well. And he is going to call out Johnny the Bull to make their match at the pay-per-view official. So yeah, Chavo Guerrero calls out Johnny the Bull, and he wants to make the match at the pay-per-view official. Oh. Can't spell. John me. Done it twice. 3 times. Johnny accepts. No, we don't really need to put it in there. We can't fit it, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, Johnny comes out, makes it official. We then got an all-in brawl prior to that as well. So we're going to need all 4 of our tag teams that are essentially involved tonight, albeit it is going to be that triple threat at the pay-per-view. So Sean O'Hare, Chuck Palumbo, we've got Young Dragons, so we need Jimmy Yang as Hayashi. We also need Anguish, so we need Psychosis and Super Crazy. And then we also need 3 count, which is Kevin Courageous and Shannon Moore. I think we'll just go entertainment for those 2. And again, I mean, it is kind of cheesing the storyline to have everyone get success out of it. But if they're all brawling, then the storyline is going to be successful, sort of portraying exactly what we want it to be. And I feel like that works pretty well. All right. All in Brawl. That's going to lead to a 8-man tag for the next show as well, the next TV show, the next Nitro. So it's another way to book into next week. And that All in Brawl is going to be a fallout of this match, which is going to be 3 count, taking on the tag team champions Palumbo and O'Hare. So essentially the reason why. And of course, all the other guys just come out as these guys begin brawling. And everyone just ends up brawling to go to commercial, essentially. It is going to be I guess we can actually use the Wild Brawl match. Cool. We then go straight into another match, which is going to be that Rob Van Dam match I was talking about earlier. Rob Van Dam taking on a little Guido. Pretty sure Guido's high flyer. Yeah, good enough. So I do actually like that match quite a lot. Very ECW. That'll be high spots. RVD obviously getting the win there. And I think we'll have Canyon at ringside as well. And then we'll also have a Canyon promo with Rob and AJ Styles. We'll have them both off screen. So Canyon says he's going to destroy Rob Van Dam like he did earlier with AJ Styles. Perfect. Obviously, that also leads into another match, which I didn't put in anywhere. We'll add that match if we have time. I think we might be short. Possibly. Alright, apologies. So we've got 2 more angles and a match. So I don't know if we will actually be able to add that AJ Styles match. Potentially we could do it as we could do it this way. Have AJ on screen and have Canyon essentially, beating down AJ prior to RVD's match, which will lead to a match for them 2 next week. Unless we did do it last week. No. Okay. That's all good. Like I said, we can work it out. It's fine if we don't have enough time. Alright, so we've got another angle here. We've got Lance Storm, Mike Awesome, and Kevin Steen. So we'll go entertainment there. All 3 success. We'll script Lance as well. So we'll go. It's not an L. So Lance Storm is pissed at Mike Awesome. For getting distracted. And yeah, was impressed with Kevin Steen. So essentially, it'll make a bit more sense once I actually book this match. So we're going to have a 6-man tag. And we're going to have Anguish and DDP taking on Team Canada and, of course, where is he? There he is. And Kevin Steen. And that is more or less going to kick off the show. And our winner is DDP. And our loser is, of course, Mike Awesome. And then we're going to have both Kidman and... So Kidman's going to be at ringside. And then we're going to have Tori with the distraction. But let's go open script. We'll go tainted because it essentially is a tainted victory. And it's a flash pinfall as well. I might get rid of tainted then. Yeah, we'll go flash pinfall because he's essentially going to roll him up as a result of the distraction, which will cause him... So do I want it like that? Yeah, we'll go like that. So distraction onto Awesome by Tori. Again, continuing that sort of stalker Mike Awesome storyline we got going on with Tori and Billy Kidman as well. And then Billy's going to be at ringside, so that'll once again advance that storyline. Cool, so that'll kick us off. And then we also want to have an angle to kick the show off with Lance Storm once again, telling Mike Awesome not to get distracted tonight. I think we'll go Billy and Tori here off camera. Essentially, Lance is going to be talking about them. So yeah, Lance Storm tells Awesome to focus on his match and not to worry about Tori and Billy. Awesome looks... So Awesome's going to look angry as a result of Lance saying that. Cool. And that is going to kick us off. So we're essentially done. I mean, as a result of that, what we can do is have that match I was talking about on the pre-show anyway, as well as doing it next week. So we'll give them an actual decent sort of pre-show match with Canyon picking up the win, because he is the United States champion after all. And then of course they can have their little angle together as well, where Canyon beats him down. So yeah, that's the show. I think it looks pretty good. Get into it. All right, so we kick things off with a 58 rated pre-show match here, where we have Canyon defeating AJ Styles in 12:22 by pinfall with a flatliner. Apologies. We then kick the Nitro off with an angle between Team Canada. Get a 53 rated angle, so it's not terrible. It's actually not a bad way to start the show. And we have Lance Storm telling Mike Awesome to focus on his match and not to worry about Tori Wilson and Billy Kidman. And as a result of Lance saying that, Mike actually looks pretty angry, pretty frustrated. Almost like a, why are you telling me this? I obviously know I need to focus on my match. You know, he doesn't really say much. Sort of just, you know, gives a bit of a nod, but does look pretty pissed off as a result. We go into the 6-man tag, getting us a 59 rating here. But we do indeed have Diamond Dallas Page and Anguish defeating Kevin Steen and Team Canada in 6:23 when DDP pinned Mike Awesome with a roll-up, which was exactly the way I wanted the match to finish. And during the match, we also had Tori Wilson distract Awesome, which did lead to that roll-up. Yeah, good stuff, Lance Storm. As you'd expect, he's pretty incredible at this point, so happy days. And we follow up with a 61 rated angle where we have Lance Storm, who's extremely pissed off at Mike Awesome for getting distracted. You know, like he said earlier in the night when the show kicked off, he didn't want Mike getting distracted. And what happens? He gets distracted and costs Lance Storm the match. And of course, Lance walks over in the locker room, shakes Kevin Steen's hand, and says that he was impressed with him here tonight. 61. Better. All right, we then go into a 59 rated angle. Of course, this is the one I was talking about prior. And we have Canyon. Basically says he's going to destroy you like he did. He's going to destroy Rob Van Dam like he did earlier with AJ Styles, obviously referring to the pre-show. And then he beats AJ Styles down and leaves him lying on the floor. Which leads into Rob Van Dam's match, getting us a 71 for our high spots here. And we have Rob Van Dam defeating Little Guido in 7:55 by pinfall with a frog splash. Very good match. Go straight into a tag team match here, getting us a 50. Little bit low, but then again, it does have 3 count in it. And we have Palumbo and O'Hare defeating 3 count in 5:47 when Sean O'Hare pinned Shannon Moore with a senton bomb. As you can see, 22 for both Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous. Not exactly setting the world alight there either. But that does lead into our tag team storyline, where we have all 8 members, well, obviously 3 count being a part of this, but they're not really. They were just out there, essentially. They were pissed off that they lost. Obviously, we have Young Dragons coming down and attacking the champs, being O'Hare and Palumbo. Obviously, then becomes a 4-on-2 beatdown, and we have Super Crazy and Psychosis Anguish coming back out, despite winning their match earlier, and essentially brawling with these guys. They're all brawling with each other, faces, heels. It's the same thing, and like I said, it's going to lead into an 8-man tag for next week's show. We then go into a Chavo Guerrero promo, getting us a 49. Actually, I think it was both of them. It was both Chavo and Johnny the Bull, getting us a 49 rating there, where we do indeed have Chavo calling out Johnny the Bull, and he wants to make the match at the pay-per-view official, and Johnny agrees. He accepts. So it's going to be Johnny the Bull taking on Chavo Guerrero Jr. in a pay-per-view match. And then we lead into a Chavo Guerrero singles match, getting a 58 rating. We have Chavo Guerrero defeating David Flair in 5:52 by pinfall with a brainbuster. Good match from Chavo. Again, just continuing his momentum and his build, similar to Rob Van Dam here as well. Surprisingly enough, Rob Van Dam getting a 72 rated angle by himself. Of course, Canyon is off screen, so it does advance the storyline, which is actually really good, considering how high the rating actually is. We have Rob Van Dam stating that he will represent the real Americans that take pride in their country when he beats Canyon and becomes United States champion. All right, we go into a 44 rated angle where we have Helix Skipper essentially telling Shane Helms to put his money where his mouth is, and to put the title on the line in their singles match up next. And that match, surprisingly, that's actually a really good rating for the Cruiserweights. We get a 61 rated match here. We have Shane Helms defeating Helix Skipper in 7:45 by pinfall with a vertebreaker, following a botched interference from Mike Sanders, who did end up hitting Helix Skipper. And we have Shane Helms making defense number 3 of the WCW World Cruiserweight title. Good match. All right, pre-main event angle, we have Curt Hennig getting us a 74 rating. And of course, Curt addresses the WCW fans and states that he will become the new world champion by beating Booker T. The main event, I mean, it did as well as I thought it would, getting us an 81 rated main event for our tag team match here. And we have Booker T and Hugh Morris defeating Curt Hennig and Buff Bagwell in 16:29 when Booker T, my virus coming up, when Booker T pinned Buff Bagwell with a scissors kick. Very good match. That's pretty much all I can say about this one. Obviously, Curt, Booker, you can tell that they're the main eventers, and then Buff and obviously Hugh Morris are our sort of upper mid-carders, albeit Buff would probably be doing a little bit better if he wasn't in that poor form. And we finished the show off with an 88 rated angle. Very happy. When I was booking this show, I knew that it would gradually build up, and with this finishing off, leading into next week with this promo. I mean, it's Booker T as well. He's a bit of a cheat code, but we get an 88 rated final angle here on the Nitro show. We have Buff Bagwell, who did lose to Booker T tonight, and he wants a rematch with Booker next week on Nitro to continue his redemption tour and try and beat the world champion. We finished the show getting an 80 rating overall, increasing popularity in 13 regions there as well. So just a really, really good show. And like I said, I put a decent amount of sort of time into booking that when I was on holiday. Obviously, I was very relaxed, drinking cocktails and stuff like that. But it was actually kind of fun, believe it or not. Gave me something to do. Nitro getting us a 1.15 TV rating, 866,000 viewers. Not too bad, not too bad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We've got the go home show for next episode, and then the episode after that is going to be Bash at the Beach, where we're going to have some decent title matches. I mean, Rob Van Dam versus Canyon, Booker T versus Curt Hennig. We've got Johnny the Bull versus Chavo. It's going to be a really good match as well. We've got the triple threat tag team match. What else? Sanders versus Helms. What else we got? Awesome versus Kidman in a ladder match. I think I'm going to do a ladder match with Tori's managerial contract as the prize up the top. I feel like that's a pretty fitting way to sort of end that storyline once and for all. And yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, make sure you smash a like on the video, guys. Hopefully it'll make me feel better. And apart from that, as always, take it easy and goodbye.